What if your greatest passion in life was slowly destroying the very thing you needed to practice it? Most people know Claude Monet as the father of Impressionism, the man who taught the world how to see light. But what history books usually hide is that during his final years, Monet went nearly completely blind, and instead of quitting, he locked himself in his studio, labeled his paint tubes by memory, and painted his most terrifying, radical masterpiece. This is the story of how an artist lost his eyes and accidentally changed art history forever. To understand what Monet lost, you have to understand how he worked. Monet was obsessed with time. He didn't just paint a landscape. He painted the exact second light hit a flower or bounced off the water. For decades, his eyes were his sharpest weapon. He built a world-famous water garden in Giverny just to paint it thousands of times. By his 60s, he was wealthy, world-famous, and living his dream. But in 1908, Monet noticed something wrong. The bright blues of his ponds began looking dirty green. The crisp sunlight felt harsh and blinding. His universe was fading into a fog. Doctors diagnosed him with severe nuclear cataracts in both eyes. Monet wrote in his journal, "I see everything in a mist. Colors no longer have the same intensity for me. Imagine being the world's greatest painter of color, but your eyes force you to see the world through mud." Terrified of blindness, Monet refused surgery, which was primitive and risky at the time. In fits of rage, he slashed his own canvases and threw dozens of paintings into the fire. He couldn't trust his eyes anymore. So he made a crazy decision. He stopped looking at the colors. Instead, he organized his palette by strict memory. Slot 1 was white, slot 2 was yellow, slot 3 was red. He was painting by touch. World War I broke out around him, but Monet locked himself in a giant studio to paint a massive mural project. Because he couldn't see fine details, his brushstrokes turned violent, thick, and wild. He stopped painting what nature looked like and started painting what his pain felt like. Monet finally underwent eye surgery late in life. When his vision partially returned, he was shocked by his late works. He thought they were ruined disasters. But he was wrong. Without realizing it, by losing his sight, Monet tore down the rules of realistic painting. Decades later, legendary modern artists would look back at these blind paintings as the true birth of abstract expressionism. He didn't just survive his tragedy, he transformed it into his ultimate legacy. Monet showed us that true art doesn't live in your eyes. It lives in your soul.